There's a lie that all drivers tell themselves. Death is something that happens to other people.
What kind of person does a job like this? Each year, 2 of us die.
James can be a loose cannon. Nick is a genius setting up the cars.
I accept every time I get in my car. There's 20% chance I could die.
Being driven around 170 miles per hour? This thing's a bomb on wheels.
I'm quicker than all of you.
Then let's race. I feel responsible for what happened.
You were. But trust me, watching you win those races, you were equally responsible for getting me back in the car. I'm world champion, on the verge to become world champion again.
I can beat this guy. Trust me. It's a wonderful way to live. It's the only way to drive. The closer you are to death, the more alive you feel.
Hey guys, your boy 188 here, and as you saw there, that was the new trailer for Rush, and I did send you guys a link to it. I hope you guys enjoyed that trailer. And yeah, basically, if you haven't heard, the story is about the rivalry of James Hunt and Niki Lauda in the 1976 season, which I thought was one of the best, really, because, you know, they had two different styles. One had a very sort of party, sort of smoky sort of thing like that, and the other one had sort of like a knuckle down, hard down, mechanical genius. And yeah, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I think, you know, I haven't seen like all of the 76 season, but I have seen the race that James Hunt took the championship, and that was in Fuji in Japan at the 76 season. So, which was an absolute great race. I thought that Hunt really deserved it, you know, because, you know, he is one amazing dude, because to be winning a championship in those kind of in like places that could easily kill you, it's incredible, you know. So yeah, and I have huge respect for the people who did it back in the day. So yeah, but yeah, it comes out. So yeah, that movie comes out on September the 13th, 2013. Be sure to watch it. It is pretty good. So yeah, what I'm going to be doing, the 2013 Chinese Grand Prix race review, which was on this morning, and yeah, by the way, I'm not gonna tell you about practice because most of you guys might have heard it. So yeah, not gonna talk about the practice. So yeah, I'm gonna start with qualifying. So yeah, qualifying for the Chinese Grand Prix was very quiet for the start, for like the first 7 minutes, because, you know, there weren't no cars coming out onto the track, and I thought it was a real shame, because I like qualifying. I like qualifying sessions that, you know, are amazing, that are intense, that, you know, put me on the edge of the seat. And it didn't, to be honest, because, you know, most of the drivers were safety tyres for the race, and, you know, it's just, you know, the Pirelli have got to do something about that to give people some track action. You know, otherwise drivers are not gonna come out at all, and it's gonna be boring on Saturday. So, you know, I think they've really got to sort the Pirelli sort of tyres out in terms of their durability and their sort of tyre life and their tyre wear and all that. So yeah, I really hope it does get fixed for the next race in Bahrain, because I don't want to be seeing the same session for the next race, because, you know, it's gonna be, because I don't want people who are starting to enjoy the sport get away from the sport now and just move on to like football and something else. So I really do want people to enjoy motor racing in general, so, and especially Formula 1 too. So yep, at the end of Q1, Valtteri Bottas was the big name to drop out of Q1, and then in Q2, big news. Mark Webber running out of fuel at the end of the straight. He ran out of fuel at the end of the straight and had to start at the back of the grid. You know, I think it was a planned strategy from Red Bull, because you may remember the Red Bull having the same sort of thing happening to them, but this time with Vettel in Abu Dhabi. I think they were trying to go for the Abu Dhabi Sebastian Vettel sort of thing to Mark Webber, you know, which I thought, you know, I thought could pay off, because you know, if you get disqualified, you can make changes to your car, and including like the gear ratios, the aero, the drivetrain, anything, you know, on the car. So yeah, and what Red Bull did before the race was did the same thing as Sebastian. You know, made the car as fast as they could down the straight, because let's face it, you know, if you're gonna win races, you've got to have, you know, good straight line speed. Otherwise, you're going to be dead meat on the straights to another car. So yeah, good thinking by Red Bull there of putting Webber at the pit lane. So yeah, and then in Q3, Vettel and Hülkenberg saved their tyres to run on the medium compound for the start of the race, so that they didn't have to use the option compound till the end of the race. So yeah, and then at the end, it was Lewis Hamilton that took pole position. Great lap by him. The car looks really composed through that lap, you know. No understeer, no mistakes, no oversteering moments and all that. So yeah, great lap by Hamilton there. Second was Raikkonen, and then third was Alonso. So yeah, and then I think and then fourth was Rosberg. So yeah. So at the start of the race, Hamilton got a good start, Hamilton got a good start for all the two Ferraris behind, and then the Lotus of Raikkonen, and then at the first couple of laps, Lewis Hamilton being caught by the two Ferraris, and then being passed down that pit straight, and Felipe Massa really went crazy into that first corner. I think he did a lunge to the right there, and yeah, really confident driving there from Felipe Massa there. Just really good, great driving there. Same for Alonso as well there on Hamilton there. So yeah, and then moving on from that, Adrian Sutil getting rammed from behind from a late braking Esteban Gutierrez. who missed his braking point and then went straight into the back of him. Sutil losing his his front wing, his rear wing was sort of bent and what, so he had to come into the pits. I think he retired after that. And then Esteban after that got a 5-place grid penalty for the next race in Bahrain, which I thought was a bit harsh because Esteban, I think it was just a mistake by Esteban. You know, he's a rookie. Rookies are gonna make mistakes like that once in a while. So yeah, you know, I think he was just caught out by the Sauber. I think he was just trying to get closer to the Force India there, you know. And then after that, the Mercedes stacking at the first pit stops. Really confident by the Mercedes crew there, you know, because one little mistake, one hold up, and Mercedes would have had a major headache there, you know, of having to let Rosberg wait for Hamilton to finish his pit stop, you know, and you know, great pit stop there, yeah, from the Mercedes there, and it just shows how confident Mercedes are in terms of pit stops. I mean, sure, they're not the fastest, but judging by that, they were so confident in getting that timing right. And then after that, Kimi Raikkonen ran into the back of Perez. Sorry there. Ran into the back of Perez, and that gave Raikkonen a bit of damage to his front wing there. And then after that he had to pit to get it changed. He said after that there was a bit of understeer, so yeah. But I don't think that did any major damage to his race there. So yeah. I think Perez should have. I think Perez didn't see him coming there. You know, yes, Raikkonen was right behind him, but I think Perez was like focused for turn 6 so hard. I think he was focusing on turn 6 so hard that he forgot about Kimi Raikkonen there. You know, which I understand. I think Perez has got to be a little bit careful when he's like coming into the corners, because I think if Perez pushed him really far onto the grass, I think that could have ended badly for Raikkonen there. So I think Perez has got to be careful when in terms of defending. Yes, he's like focusing for that corner, but you've got to be aware. You've got to be aware of who's around you and who's closing up to you and where he's pulling the move and all that. So yeah, otherwise you're gonna take someone else and they're gonna hate you forever. So yeah, no, I'm just joking. They'll probably hate you for a couple of weeks and then it'll be all cool. And then after that, Mark Webber did a dive up the inside of Jean-Eric Vergne, but sadly touched the rear of Jean-Eric Vergne, and that caused Webber to pit again for a new front wing there. And yeah, bit of shame for Jean-Eric Vergne, because he was doing a really good race. He was doing a really good race. I thought this was the best race that Toro Rosso has ever had in the last 2 years, and yeah, just ended, and for Jean-Eric Vergne to end his race, I think he was out. I don't know. To end his race, being taken out by Mark Webber was a bit below to Toro Rosso. So, yeah. And then after that, on the end of the main straight, Mark Webber had to retire because of a loose wheel, which came off his right rear, and yeah, just sad that Mark Webber had to retire there. Really thought he could, possibly grab like a podium out of this because, let's face it, the last time that Mark Webber was down at the bottom, like 18th or right down like at the bottom end, he managed to get a podium in those races. So, it's just a real shame that his race had to end like that. But what can you do? And yeah, I think Red Bull have got to be looking at that, and I think they've got to be thinking about that a little bit, because they don't want a repeat of that again, and just sad that Mark Webber's out, had to end his race like that. Bit of shame for him. And then after that, Sebastian Vettel pitted to change to the option compound. Before I continue talking about that, Lewis Hamilton made a pit stop on lap 38, came out, rejoined the pack, but when he rejoined behind Raikkonen to come out in third place, which almost to come out in third place, and yeah, I think Raikkonen, new tyres and all that. Obviously, a guy with new tyres and a guy that hasn't pitted, that's staying out with old tyres. Yeah, it's gonna be that guy. So yeah, I think just a bit of misjudgment there by the Mercedes there. But yeah, and then after that, Sebastian Vettel pitted for option tyres, and great job by Sebastian Vettel there on the last couple of laps to manage to hold on with his. Great job with Sebastian Vettel to look after his tyres and also be quick at the same time, because there were loads of complaints during the weekend about the tyre grainings and all that, and tyre wear and all that on the option compound, and Vettel, really great job by him to keep his tyres fresh and quick at the same time. And Lewis Hamilton, great job by him to keep him behind there. I think if Hamilton had if there was one lap, I think Sebastian would have got past Hamilton to take the podium there. So yeah, great drive by Vettel there to come back and almost get so close to a podium there. But yeah, in the end, it was Fernando Alonso who grabbed the winner's circle to get, I think, his 31st victory for Ferrari, which is a great job by them, because they haven't had a win since Germany. Last year they were really struggling, and for this year to be right up there with the sharp end, I think it's a great job by Fernando. I think he massively deserves this win because he's been mighty quick during the weekend, and he's an amazing driver when he's racing, because he can pull off great moves, and we've seen that during his career driving in Formula 1. So yeah, great win for him, and I I really do think he could win the championship this year because he is a fighter. Just looking at him, just seeing his driving, he is a contender. He is hungry for this championship. He wants to get his 3rd championship, and I totally want him. I totally want him to as well. Second was Raikkonen. Great job driving from him there to pick up second. Being really pressured a lot during the race by Hamilton at the last couple of laps. And yeah, great driving by him, you know. And a lot of people were saying that the Lotus has lost its zing, has lost its mojo and all that. Well, think again, media, because the Lotus has not lost its mojo. It has come home in a great second. And then third for Hamilton. Great driving from him to keep Vettel behind for that last lap there. So yeah, that was it. Next week, the Formula One is on next week and it will be for Bahrain. I'll be doing commentaries for that as well. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and before I go, the FIA World Endurance Championship is still going on. It's at its last 45 minutes. I think the Audis are leading at the moment by a lap to the Toyotas behind. And yeah, and Aston Martin leading in GT as well. So yeah, they've only got like 45 minutes left in the race now. So yeah. So thank you very much for watching. See you guys later. Bye bye YouTube.